All right. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, welcome everyone here. Welcome to introduction to our first bootcamp. It's exciting. It's exciting seeing everyone here. Seeing the builders, seeing the founder of Web3 Bridge. I'm really honored, and I think yeah, it's exciting. So for this, today we dedicated it to starting our live bootcamp. First, I'm Kakoza Vianney, the founder of Decentracode. Great to see Mr. Ayo. Great to see Mr. Sam, the tutor, one of the developers, and Unreal Jova, the founder of co-founder of OneRamp. Yeah, we are going to have just open discussions and get excite the students about the bootcamp. Also discuss very many things about the journey of people that have been here. So I'll start with Mr. Ayo. So you're most welcome. I would love to know what really pushes you to keep going in the Web3 bridge and what you can tell us. Thank you.
Yeah, and Prem, thank you very much, guys. Good evening, everyone. Uh, yeah, good evening. Happy to be on the call, and congratulations to you and the Decentral Code family. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I heard about the building from the starts, and I'm glad today that I'm part of the story. I can see this come to life, and I'm also happy for everybody in the program. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's exciting. I would love to go to Jovan. One of the things we want to do in this bootcamp is to be focused on engaging people to build products. So we want to make sure that we create an avenue where builders can build real products. And you being one of the co-founders of one of the great products we have in Africa, OneRamp, which is an off-ramp and on-ramp solution, I'd love you to tell us how should we engage, what's the approach that our students should take, given that we have some of the students right here on the premises. So yeah, it's exciting.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, my name is Jovan and I'm a developer and I'm the co-founder of the project called Wonder from how Bian has said. So yeah, I think as builders it's important to build and also when you build with other people there's a way it pushes you. So having a cohort like this, I think it's one of the net positives of the whole space because one of the things that happens is most of the time we as builders we learn individually, like you learn from your bedroom and then you practice from that side, and then at the end of the day you do not know, like the roadmap is not clear, you do not know what you're doing right, you do not know what you're doing wrong. You can learn by that, but then it may take you a longer time. So having a cohort with people that where you engage with people that are really building, with people who have experience in the industry, I think it's a very, very nice shortcut to have to anyone that wants to jump in. So yeah, I'm very, very excited with the cohort, and I really believe that it's going to be very beneficial to everyone that is participating. Yeah, thank you.
All right, all right. Great introductions. I've started from a high gear. We shall come back to other things. But yes, we have Sam the tutor. I've known him from way back, from him being Sam the tutor to now Sam, one of the people doing some of the contracts like Web3 contracts where he takes on full products and builds them from scratch. And yeah, it's exciting to have him on board. We would love actually to have both of you as one of the tutors, and I know I've had the support. So Sam, what do you have to say for for the cohort and yeah,
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
loud and clear?
Yeah, that's one of the things you have to first say, mic check whenever you're trying to speak. uh, Hello everyone, my name is Samuel and I'm glad to be here I'm actually very excited, to see this being pulled off. Vian started it like just as an idea, and I've been one of the few people that have seen it grow from an idea until now, when like everything is now real. The dreams have come to reality, and we're experiencing, the first ever cohort of Web3 in Uganda, and this is a milestone achieved, though we still have a long way to go. It's just a start, and I'm excited of the things that we build in this cohort, and everyone that has managed to come. I thank them for their zeal. Very few people are aware about Web3 actually in Uganda. And those who are aware also, some people you call them to learn about Web3 and they're like, no, as long as there is, like, just show me how, like, where to get the money. Like, so most people are more into how to earn, not about the technology, but, seeing people come up to learn stuff. It's really interesting. And I'm excited, to see how, the different products that we build will have the best tutors, that will guide them. And I'm just excited. Actually, I'm just excited. I have very many words to say, but I will just cut them off for now. And yeah, enjoy the show. Thank you.
All right. It's amazing. It seems the time is flying fast, but I have a lot on my head. I have a lot of things, to think about. I want to thank like everyone who is here. I've seen we have been on this journey for some time. We have been having discussions. Sometimes we're with Jovan and we are like, you know what? The thing that we need to keep bringing from Uganda are products, and we can build them together as a team. And yes, when I met Mr. Ayo, I first met him on a hackathon, and his remarks from my code was, yeah, you're doing good code. Probably can think of, creating a community of people who can build together. And yeah, we are still, pushing. I want to really inquire from Mr. Ayo, how should we keep this going? What should we do to ensure that, we keep this fire burning, and then we increase the value that we can bring on the African scale and the global scale as the community in Uganda, probably through this, or yeah, something else. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fakoza. Like I said to you in Ken Eat Safari, if you remember, there's a lot of work to be done. We've been on this journey for over 5 years ourselves, and honestly, we only continue to keep getting better at it because there's no end to it. There's a lot of people there that are not still don't know about Web3, so we have a lot of work to do. Now that the job is done, you have to be actually very particular about your quality of developers. Like, it's easy to decide to want to play the number games because like grants opportunity comes from, there's going to be a pressure from, oh yeah, we have X number of developers now, or because we can attract the grants. But the point is that if you do the number game, you are not going to last in the game. That's the truth. The quality of developers you are going to have is actually what's going to stand you out. If it means 3 developers in one cohort, 8 developers in one cohort that you can be very proud of, that's all you need, brother. Like, a number of persons are going to say, "Oh yeah," like at first, I'm sure you have actually applied for a number of grants that didn't come through, and yeah, that can be actually heartbreaking. But the truth is that the ecosystem is watching. Everybody is watching. For us as Africans, we have to prove ourselves 10 times before we can be taken seriously. So it gets better as you run. I'm sure of that. So during the court itself, you have to pay attention to the quality of the developers. You have to pay attention to the developers themselves because people get burned out at some point. You have to actually be there for them. Like, it's more of like you are now just not just a community manager. You are going to be community manager, developer, therapist. Like, you're going to be like all in one because when people burn out, they need a leader to speak with. Like, your team have to actually be able to listen attentively to them, understand people's needs. And this is the best time you actually have to learn how to read people better because a lot of people are going to be dependent on you for support, dependent on you for leadership. So, and I'm sure that if you keep going, the first 1 year might be tough. the first 2 years maybe. For us, our Web3 bridge, I think it got better as almost at the end of the third year. So it's not going to be easy. Trust me when I say that. But then it's going to be worth it, honestly. Like looking back 5 years ago, looking back at every opportunity I had to miss because of Web3 bridge, I can tell you honestly, it has been worth it. So it's going to be worth it if you stay true to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Because yeah, being deep in the fire, the words have a way they sound, and you feel them in the bottom of your stomach. But yeah, I would also really want to hear from Jovan, because one of the things we would want to do is to mold developers that can build and that build products that are usable. And we know for sure that OneRamp has been pushing boundaries in Africa. And I know that one of your qualities as a builder of OneRamp is that you've kept at it. There are so many times actually. I was surprised, when at last you agreed to go out for its safari. For a number of years, you had never left, Uganda. You were just on as your brother showcases in case they need some change. You're just on phone, but you are home. So I would love to know from you, how can we really make sure that we work with builders and we produce builders who build. What should we do? How should we enhance you, or how should we even get you? It's surprising that you're in Uganda, but yeah, you're fixed because you're building. So how can we make sure that we go towards that channel? Because that's what we would love to have. At the end of our cohorts, we'd love to see products. We'd love to see that we are bringing value to the ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Vianney. Yeah, I think one of the main goal of this cohort is to push products. I have a problem with most of the boot camps that I've been into is like they have the same goal, hey, come learn this, learn tech B, and then go find a job. And it is one of the reasons why I never jumped into going into bootcamps, because for me, my goal was to learn how to build and then build a product. And most of them, their approach was not that. So it was, hey, I will train you to get employed, which is okay, but it didn't align with my goal. And with this cohort, I'm very happy that it's using the different approach of, hey, we are training you to build products. So for as a builder, I think everyone that is in the cohort is set on the right path, because one thing that I know when you're building is you need a community, and you need to have people that you're building forward to. And when you do it within a community, and you're building platform A, and then you talk with builder B, with builder C, it becomes easier. In my early days when I was building, I was doing it alone. I was doing it alone, and uh, you could do something and you don't know that you're doing it the wrong way. So you didn't have the right market. Yes, there were events, there were people ABCD that you could talk to, but it wasn't as streamlined as it is right now. Because now, if I want to build, and I was building from maybe the Decentracode, cohort, I know that I have a few people that I can talk to, and I know that I have, people that can really, really show me the right direction of what I'm trying to build. So the way we can push the builders in the central code to build real products. For me, my answer is very straightforward. We're already pushing them, because it comes from the approach of how the cohort is coming, is organized. So one thing, we are training these builders to build products. We're not training them to go and write job applications, to go and do job interviews, which is okay, but I think the way you can see the job market and how Africa is lagging behind in terms of in terms of products that are shipped here, I really believe that we can use this opportunity of training builders that are going to build products, because we still need a lot of these products to be put out on the market. So I think it's very simple for the how the cohort is going to be organized. Um, every product, every project that is going to be trained is going to be trained in a real life, in a real life way. Most of the boot camps that I've been through, you build something that is a dummy to-do list, and it's not going to do anything on the market, and you build it and put it on your portfolio, and then you go away. But then building something that you really understand, and you really building it to know that you can put it out on the market. I think it's a very powerful way of learning, and it is a very powerful way of incentivizing builders to build. Because when you're training someone and you're showing them, hey, this is how you should organize your code, such that if one day or if one time that you really want to ship it out into the market, it's code ready. It's going to be able to compete with the standards of of the market. And I think if someone hears that, at least for me, if I had that in my early days when I was learning, I think that would really push me to learn a lot, because I know what I'm writing is industry standard, and what I'm writing can be, it can be put on the market. So I think the approach is how is going the approach of how the central code is going to push the court, really will push builders to build products for the real world. Yeah.
Oh man, that's really great advice. It's really some of the things we are focused on, and I'm happy that you really have mentioned that. Actually, as we are structuring this curriculum, you've said, uh, I had many issues with the people on the team, and some wanted something that just tell people, but I was very particular on that we want an approach that is product focused, because I think one of the most unique thing that we can bring to this ecosystem, to the Web3, is building products as Africans, and products that we use here. So yeah, that's so much thrilling. I'm really like out of words, and thank you for that advice. Yeah, Mr. Sam the tutor, it's always great hearing from you. Yeah, I was very particular when I was looking at the people that we should call on this live as we launch the bootcamp. I've seen Mr. Sam do great projects in the space, great projects that companies are using in the Web3 space, and yeah, taking on contracts. And I know that really in your work, there's a lot that you can tell us. Uh, uh, in addition to what Mr. Jovan has said, what do you think we need to do faster? Like, how should we build faster? Because one of the things I've come to realize is, if we are really to train builders to build, we must build faster, we must learn faster, and then iterate, so that they get used to how things are done. So probably take us through, how can we make this system seamless? How can we ensure that by the end of the bootcamp, people can not only build products, but they have products that they have iterated, and they are confident of what they have built, that these can be products that they can put on market and further them to a global stage. Thank you.
Okay, so to answer your question on how we can build faster, I think we're already on the right track. Having a physical boot camp, I think, is one of the best ways on how developers can, first of all, learn faster and also build faster, because they always say that two heads are better than one, and I think it also applies in this context. So, and why I'm focusing on like the team stuff is because for us, when we were learning how to develop, it was like more of an individual research stuff. You go online, you land on let's say a boot camp, if you're lucky, or you land on resources, you try them out, whether they work or not, it's up to you. But seeing the new members have an opportunity to form groups, be like under a mentor, is actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to learn faster. They will make less mistakes and actually learn faster, because if you're like teaching yourself, in Web3 actually we have a lot of self-taught developers. I think I've met most of them like they are self-taught. So, but the downside of being self-taught is that you take like the learning curve is a lot. Things that like you have to pass through almost every stuff to see what is working and what is not working, and then you filter out what's not working, you put it aside. Now you remain with what's working. But if you have like a team, like a mentor that is yet to guide you, the high chances that he will give you most of the things that are working, like the percentage of the things that they will teach you will be working. So you spend less time on learning, first of all, the unnecessary stuff, and also less time on trying to filter out the things that are not working. So I think this is one of the first steps that, like the right steps that we've taken, getting people some mentorship. And I'm actually excited to see what these students have are going to build, given that now they are taking kind of a different approach from what we took. Personally, I'm like I can say I'm self-taught in Web3. I learned most of the stuffs on my own. Attended few bootcamps online, but they were international bootcamps, so I didn't have a chance to have like a real like mentor physically. But now that these students are taking a different approach and a better approach actually, we have to guide them through this stuff. I'm excited to see how that approach yields the results and which results it will yield. So I think for that answers your question. For now, I think we are on the better track. We just have to continue and evaluate at the end of the bootcamp to see what will be built given this approach. Thank you.
All right, all right. Let me say a bit to you. Yeah, I would love to ask some question. Could be a bit, more personal, but I've seen you like having this spirit of leadership, um, like all holding on the hands of others. I've seen it in few people, and I would love to ask, how can you, propagate such, such kind towards the community? Because building a community requires such, relentlessness. I've seen, stepping in when it is needed, and such a quality is a very rare one. I remember you in Kenya, you just stepped in. When we returned, made sure that the community stays, and I've seen you going out of your way. So how do you think we can push that to the members that we're building, sort of not to just be individualistic, but to have that spirit of building in teams, and wanting to grow the community.
Yeah,
Mm,
thank you very much. Sorry, is that for
Yeah.
me? Oh, that's for
Yes,
Sam.
for
Sorry.
both,
you can
for
answer it,
both
and then
answer
I'll.
some. Mr. Ayo should also answer it.
Okay, let Sam go first. I'll just mute my mic and wait and listen.
All right,
Yes.
right. So I think to me it's more of an immune quality. I don't know, but whenever I'm trying out something and I see it working, I always want like the people who also have like who are trying to get into that thing. I always want them to have less friction than the friction that I faced, you know. And I think it all goes back to the way I entered Web3. It was actually a tough one, having to hustle for data, for food, for all the things by your own, and then seeing like people coming in, like you can easily relate to what they are probably facing. So that's why anytime there is an opportunity for me to step in, since I passed through the same like line, I always come in because I know how hard it was. So I think that answers most of the question. Like I pass through the stuff, and whenever like we get a new member, I'm always excited to make sure they don't go through uh, like the hard stuff that I first probably, so as they can take less time to learn what they want to learn, and start seeing the positive results.
Okay. So I want to take it to Mr. Ayo. For the past 5 years, how have you managed to, deal with the human layer, and stay intact, and also stay positive? Let me leave it to you, and
Yeah, thank you very much, Kakoza. So I can tell that it's not going to be an easy part. It's not by an easy part. Understanding that managing humans is like the most delicate part of the job, honestly. But then I was speaking to some persons over last week, and I told them, I said, one of the biggest part of this job is actually the empathy you show on the way. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone needs support at best. Now, having an ear that listens is actually very important. So sometimes you actually do not even have the help to do to the person. When you listen to people, you get to understand them. Like a number of persons actually have the solutions in their hand, in their heart, but maybe they are not sure. But they need the second opinion of someone who they consider to be like a mentor. So being able to listen to people actually helps you figure out how best to help them. So being able to listen, being empathetic is actually very, very important. Like showing empathy, like at every point, it's puts you in a good place where people can trust you enough to share anything and everything. Now, when people share with you, it's easy for you to use their experience as a guide to some next person. So it's the more experience, the more you do, the more experience you build up along the line. And that's actually one thing that is important. Then understanding that as a human, you also have flaws. Because it's easy for us as leaders to get into that part where we feel that, oh, we are almighty, we are invincible, then we can get into our own heads. But understanding that you are invincible, you have flaws, makes it easy to also want to keep working on yourself. Like identify where the problem is. Like, okay, what have you done wrong? Like personally, I do like a weekly review of myself and activity. That might also help. Like, okay, what do you think? What do I think I did wrong this week? What do I think I could do better? How do I respond to this person that could have been better? I think those are actually going to be helpful along the line. Then I think being available for everybody is actually very important. Like when I mean be available for everybody, doesn't mean that you are so like it's going to cost you a lot. Like, okay, let me share an experience. Sometimes last week Sunday, one of my developers was traveling to school, and she just called around, like she called crying, and I was like, why is she crying? Like she told me what the problem was. Like honestly, I had to like go out and I was like, okay, go back here, do this, do this. When about 7 hours after, when I didn't hear from her, I had to call. You know what happened? She actually got home and she was sleeping. She needed to rest and didn't get back to me. But then I was there worried to be sure that, oh, she's safe, she this. Like being available is actually going to cost you time. It's going to cost you sleep. Like being reachable is going to cost you like a lot of time. Like people expect to respond to their chats as fast as possible because they depend on you for solution, for help. But then being able to do that is going to help you actually learn a lot, become better part of you, and grow trust within your community. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, the journey is awesome. Okay, thank you for really that input. Yes, we are almost half an hour at 40 minutes past. You now give the community like members we have here. Actually, Natasha just arrived, so yeah, I'll give them like also to ask their questions. Sam is here, but yeah, it's great. So Mr. Jovan, I've seen you also recreate the photos, and it's a great product that you are pushing forward, and you are creating product per product. Um, my question to you would be, how do you keep up the gas? What is that pushes you when you're there and you feel like you don't need to do anymore, and you say, but let me keep pushing? What's that should fuel us, that is fueling you keep building? Yeah.
What keeps you fueling? What fuels me? That's a very interesting question. I don't know what fuels me, but I guess you know the excitement of seeing new technologies that emerge. You get today you're scrolling on Twitter and they're talking about AI agents, and you look at what AI agents can do. And the cool thing that I really love with the open world is everything is there for free. You get, so when you look at AI agents and then you see what can AI agents do, and then you go and play around with the code, you try to run the software, and you're like, okay, I think I can build something around this. Let me build something around this, and I see. Um, and I think that's the reason why I keep on building, because I think the more you keep on trying out new stuff, you always come up with interesting ideas of of what you can build, you know. And the nice thing that I really love about trends is, everyone does not know the clear roadmap. Like, remember when Web3 had just come out and people were talking about NFTs, and everyone was all over the place. It was very difficult for someone that has not touched the software to come up with a clear business or to come up with a clear idea. Most of the clear idea will come when you play around with the software. And this is what I tell a lot of my friends, that yeah, people really hate hype. Someone is like, the brush up you take, and they're like, no, AI agents is just a hype that is going to die away. You may be right, but I think a technology dying away does not mean everyone is going to lose. I think a technology or hype can go down, but a few businesses can stay, a few startups can stay around the space. And I think, yes, when you go back to NFTs died away and everyone is laughing at them. But I believe there were some few businesses that build on top of NFTs, and they are thriving. So for me, it's that's how I approach every new tech that has landed. Is, let me try it out, let me play around with it, and let me see what I can build with that. So it was the same thing with Recreate, because I was playing around with these models, and there was this thing of, hey, AI models are very hard to run, they're very expensive, you cannot train them, you cannot build on top of them unless you have a lot of hardware. And I was like, okay, let me try it out and see. And when I ran it on my local computer, it was running properly. And I'm like, okay, I think I can deploy it as a server. And when you look around, you see there are people that are doing it. Most of them are not as rich as you think. They just optimize to get the best value of the software, such that they can deploy something. Yeah, I think that's what drives me, is getting the excitement of the new tech and following trends. I think trends are, there is noise around trends, but there is sometimes some substance around trends that you can build a few products around them. The reason, how do I keep on pushing very many products? I think now is the best time to build, and I say that because most of the things you do not do from scratch. I remember when you remember the days when you were doing content, and for you to build the React app, you had to set up like 50 things. You had to set up Webpack, you had to set up, dependencies, you had to set up React from scratch. Right now, everything is just straightforward. Everything is just, you can just pull out the software in a weekend. And when you combine AI with that, then you can build something within 30 minutes. So I think what I did is I found the easiest way to launch things fast, and I actually I would really advise the developers that are going to be in the cohort, and it's one of the things that is very important to have a mentor, is they'll give you a shortcut of how to do stuff. When you're training with someone, and I believe that's one of the things that I missed as a self-taught developer. When you're training with someone, with a mentor, that person is going to give you the shortest route to achieve things. You know, they're going to give you the shortest way you can build stuff, uh, such that you can move on from there. And I think it's one of the most important things of being in a very good bootcamp, or in a very good program with very good mentors. I think that's what drives me, finding a very clear short path of productivity, and trying out a lot of software, trying out a lot of stuff that comes out, and try to build something for the real world and see if you can get a business out of it. Yeah.
All right, that's great. But yeah, before I leave you, this goes to Mr. Jovan and Mr. Ayo. One thing I would love to ask is how do you keep your quick interactions on Twitter and stay focused? Like both of you guys are always on X, and you're so fast. And how do you keep that balance? Seriously, it's a big question because our community, people are very reluctant with X, people take time, but you guys are always like, it's here. So how do you do that?
I think at some point you have to actually like be where the action happens. The action happened on X. Thankfully, there are a number of guys that are at the back who are not on X. So I'm just like the representative of the guys at the back end. So having good guys at the back end has helped me a lot. Like these guys do their job. Like in fact, they hardly actually post. The only thing I see them do on Twitter, on X, sometimes they just come and like my posts because they are locked in. They ensure that everyone is giving their job and all. But then I think going back 2018, I started as a community manager. So I spent a lot of time on social media. So that is actually where maybe this comes from. Like I had built a career managing Twitter. There was a time I was managing about 16 Twitter accounts, about 10 Telegram groups. So this is like something I've done in the past. So just like living in the past at this point. But then locked in, yeah, the guys at the back end are the one that are doing like total locked in. My job is to do both the back and the front. And thankfully, I think I can multitask a lot. So yeah, that's something to learn. But then understanding that you're a developer might take a while. But it's not actually bad. Like I think it might start from a conscious note of, okay, I must make a tweet per day. Because the truth is that if you don't talk about what you are building, no one really will know what you are building. So it's either you do yourself or you get someone who understands the vision, who believes in the vision, who is able to do it on your behalf. Because I've learned that having a good product is not just enough. Talking about your product is actually very, very key, like super key. At first, at this early stage, you might hire all the skill, the staffs, and everything you need. Then this is the point where you become the developer, the chef, the security guard, like actually at first, like I think starting with Web3, I spent the first 2 years running everything myself. Like apart from teaching, though I'm not a developer, so like apart from teaching the code, every other thing, managing the Twitter account, managing the community, writing the mail. Thankfully, I had people who handles the interviews and all. But then like every other thing, like I think there was a time the kitchen guys, when we got on site, the kitchen guys messed up. I actually practically had to go cook for the court. I can't cook, so that was also like an add-on. Like I spend nights watching the CCTV cameras to be sure that nothing goes wrong when I'm out. There was a day when we had an emergency around 5 a.m. My house is like 25 minutes away from the facility. I was on that drove. So like recently now there's a driver standby and all. There's a nurse, there's this, there's that. But then in the early days, you have to do a lot of multitasking. Like it is actually what demands. And also, if you do pray, you pray. If you do watch, you watch for the right people who believe in the vision, who are going to actually help work with you, because having the right people is actually key. One person can truncate everything you are working on. Having the right people is very, very important and get the job done. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. To Mr. Jovan, how do you really do it? It's just every time we go, like your your performance on X is on another level. I don't know. How do you mix that and building?
I think I would agree with him about, being where the magic happens. And the cool thing that I really love with X, when your account is grouped with interesting people, you know, you always want to be where the cool people are. And the nice thing is that you talk with the people that are really impactful. I remember one time when I was trying out to create, I had an issue with the webhooks, and I went to the Twitter handle of the CEO of Recreate, and I told him, hey, these webhooks are not working. Could you help me? And the guy replied. And he sent me a few resources of how I could fix it, and I was really amazed. So I think that's the power of X as a platform. It's where everyone is. And just to add on what he said, you cannot build and then you cannot build from your bedroom and stay there. You need to always talk about what you're building. You need to always share what you're building. And I think that's the easiest way you could get your out there, because man, think about it. We have a lot of companies that are spending a lot of money on adverts. We have a lot of people that are spending a lot of money on ads, on everything. You find that people are very tired of seeing adverts. So the other way that you could do it is to share what you're building, talk about what you're building, and chances are what you're building is surrounded by the people that are very interested in your product. So the reason why I keep on there is it's a nice place. It's very funny. Someone told me that I read it as a newspaper. It's the first thing that I touch when I wake up. Yeah, but
You're
it's nice when it's nice when you're surrounded with the right people, with the right audience, with the right community. And I think the moment you get in that position, it's very hard to get off.
all right. Still on that for short one, like yeah, one of the issues we have actually with our community is people who love to do things here, like sort of in offline, like person to person. How should we raise the spirit of people putting their stuff out there, putting what they're doing out there? How should we handle that? Because it seems people are very reluctant here with X. People are reluctant, to put what they are doing. You find someone doing something and it's on their computer, they're not talking about it. How should we ignite that fire? From both of you, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll go first. The truth is that developers are going to get tired at some point. So let me pause this. They're going to get tired at some point, understanding that they are like locked in. Like people get tired. Telling them, okay, okay. I think thankfully what we do is we tell them stories of people that are ahead of them that are doing well. Like like everyone came in with a goal. Everyone coming with like a vision of what they want to see. So telling them, oh, this person has passed through this and those actually could be helpful to them at first, because like the first sets actually the one that are going to be like create the path for the others. Also, understanding like what the time we actually watch these guys burn out, and we create breaks within the cohort itself. Like we give them 3 days of holiday. Like I remember we used to take them paintballing, take them out to just like have fun, like take them to the beach, do all of these things. Like sometimes it's actually needed because they are humans. Then, unfortunately for them, if you take 3 days to play, suffer it back. But truth is, yeah, that actually, like if Web3 Bridge gives you a day of freedom, trust me, you pay for it. But the truth is that 1 day is actually enough to actually how will I say now, like absorb every air you need to absorb, then you get back to it. So there's no direct path to this. Like there's no like one way fit all. What's important is just that you learn to understand them. So in Web3 Bridge, we try to like have like weekly call with the students, like one-on-one, like a group weekly call. That way everyone talks about whatever is bothering them. Like so imagine, let me give an example. There is somebody who is now in the house who is going to lose his girlfriend because he's not communicating right. And at the point where it gets heartbroken, he still needs to code. Unfortunately, you have gone to be the therapist. Like I'm telling you, like these are life like these are like practical experiences. Like someone whose boyfriend is going to threaten that is leaving because now she's not available anymore, then maybe she's not trusted and all. Like there was a part, I remember telling someone that when you get to class, make sure that you keep your phone on recording the class so that your girlfriend can see that you are actually in class and you are not lying or deceiving her at this point, so that you can keep that relationship. Like there's going to be a lot of work. Then I think the eviction system we have in Web3 has actually been helpful because no one wants to travel that distance to come. I want to be sent home disgraced. Why the eviction is not actually there to make anyone look bad. Like I think I've never evicted anybody on site until last court. Like, and last court was court 11. Like we actually had to show one person the door. But we have a system where we have to actually like provide support, provide help to everyone like struggling, because we understand that people will struggle. Everyone is not learning at the same pace. Like I think this work is actually more than just the code. Like everyone had to bond to become a family. Everyone had to be able to open up to talk about whatever is bothering them, because like people will get tired. People will get to a point like if I'm sure you have seen pictures from a table where you have like this banner, what am I doing in my life? Like it's practically in the class where people get bored, they just look at the board and like, whew, what am I doing in my life? We started the ZK class in January, for example, and guys from the ZK class are like, so when are you starting counseling? Because now we need to actually talk to you. Like, so I do group counseling and I talk to everyone individually within the cohort. So last cohort we had 55 persons and I actually had to do that. Like crazy, but then it's what builds the bond. It's what builds the trust. Like it's how like somebody had to actually like come break down and cry. Like when people cry, you cannot cry with them, but then if you can, you laugh with them. And yeah, like I do that. So like you cry, I laugh. You get angry, then both of us get laugh. Like the goal is to ensure that no one is left behind. That's the only way to actually keep everybody going, because people are going to start. Give it 4 weeks, and I tell you, people are going to start getting tired. But then create a lot of fun activity also that will not distract them. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. To you, Jovan, how? I think I should for now go to Sam because it is getting a bit tough. So, Mr. Sam, yeah, I love the push that actually Mr. Sam has always had on me. There are some things I felt this one is tough, and was now we have passed the the hard line, but I would love to ask, how should we keep the steam, or how do you keep the steam? Like how should we make sure that the builders are keeping the steam? It's something that, yeah.
Um, I think it's a little bit tricky because now that that involves beyond like coding, like stuff beyond coding, how people handle their lives, how they react to situations. As Mr. I has said, give it 1 month and people will already be tired and need say they be cool, yeah. But the thing is to like not forget the goal, because like we have a goal that we have to achieve, like dreams. That's what usually keeps me pushing. Sometimes the day can refuse, and you're like, and sometimes like one day refuses, and it's as if everything is down, like you don't see any way forward. But yeah, you just take a day off, and then you try to strategize. You try to recap on the goals. Sometimes you can be more focused, and then you forget the goals, like the outer, how do they say it, the general overview. Like you focused on a task, and then it hits you hard, and then you forget as actually why you're doing it. So sometimes I get like tired, and then yeah, when you get tired you cannot continue pushing. You just first stop, refresh a bit, recap on the goals as to why actually you're in that situation, if you're writing the code and it has refused, or maybe something has refused, you first like stop there, then look at why am I doing this, and then you like again connect to the goal, right? So I think it's more about not forgetting, like it's all about not forgetting the goal, the dreams, as to why we started this, why we're into this, and then yeah, other things will follow. I hope I just answered that.
Okay, that's great. I think
Don't
I have many questions, but yeah, tell us some more.
don't
Oh,
forget the dream. I think it's more of a don't forget the dream. Why we are into this, you know.
okay.
Sure.
Don't forget the bug. But anyway, I really want to let the people who are the cohort say something, ask questions if they want to. So please, you guys, you can really come and ask these people something that you want to know. These people have spent 6 days in, and they are and yeah, they are having the fire. So you guys, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can maybe come
Let me
closer.
actually move closer.
Uh,
They should tell us their experience so far.
they are here.
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, I'm grateful, first of all, for the boot camp that we have an opportunity now to be a part of, and also to all of you people for being around for this official launch of this amazing event. Well, I'm going to ask a general question, something I've always been thinking about, because I've been in a Web3 space for quite a while, but I hadn't had the opportunity to have the developer experience like I'm anticipating I'm going to have in the bootcamp. So, my question to all of you, since you've all been in development, particularly in Web3 for quite a while, the truth is there's a lot of noise in Web3. Even when you build a product, sometimes you need to keep optimizing it for relevance in a different community or society in which you've built it for. So in situations like that, because the zeal that we have right now is for building products, but what's the best approach to evaluating the best product that you can build that will be effectively used in a society you are, based on the available technology and then the problems that are available that are around. So I just need an approach on how to evaluate the best product to build for a society.
I think Jovan can best answer that since he's on the.
The best product that you could, that is a very interesting question because when you go and tackle such an answer, you find that it's very easy to go in a lot of different ways. Because one thing that I've learned, because my answer for that has changed within time, but of recently I've learned that a lot of the products that we see on the market have already done the evaluation. For example, unless you're building something new, but when you look at, for example, when you're building, let's say, what, an on-ramp, let's say an on-ramp. Uh, the best evaluation you could do is first see what are the people that are doing. Are there any person that is doing that? That's the importance of being on Twitter and other social media. So you go there and see who is doing it. If they are doing it, how are they operating? How are their numbers looking like? Because the moment you see that there is someone doing it and they are performing very well, then there's a very high likely chance of you having a market there. Actually, one of the things that I really had that I got very wrong in my early days is when I had a product in my mind that I wanted to build, and I would go and check to see if someone has built it, and I'll find like 50 of them. then I'll get discouraged. I'm like, ah, man, someone has already built that. The market won't, I won't have a space in the market. But then I've gone to realize that that is the wrong approach. Actually, it's better if you have people that are already building what you want to build, because one, that shows that there is market for that, and two, all those people have already evaluated the market for you to know that I can build it in a way. So the easiest thing to do is to just follow their footsteps. When you're building, follow what they are doing and do it better. Maybe do it cheaper. Maybe do it faster. Maybe do it, maybe improve something small on what they've already built. So, and I think that is one of the things that you should really, really, really use when you're approaching how you could evaluate a product. One, is someone building? Are there products that are doing it? If yes, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because now there is market for that, and I know I could improve on what their solution is. So if they've already built it, then you optimize yours to do something better. Maybe theirs is very complicated. So I'll give you an example of one ramp. So when we were building one ramp, we looked at finance. We looked at, by then there was FTX. By then there was what, BitIO, and they were working very well. People were using them, but then they were very complicated to the normal user, because someone had to understand how to create orders, someone had to understand how to set prices and all of that. So what we did, we just built an easier option, whereby, with one ramp it's very easy. You can just connect your wallet, enter your phone number, and then you get your money. So it's the easiest evaluation you could do. I wouldn't recommend you to build something from scratch and then go and learn the market, go and do validation. It's going to take you a lot of money, it's going to take you a lot of time. On the other hand, if you're building something that is fairly new in the market, like we talked about having new tech, uh, there's also another window of success on that side. I would recommend you to test with the users, test with the market. If your solution is very new, and the market, I'm talking about the people that are around you, the people that are around the community. One thing that I will used to do is one ramp would go into these events, these meetups, and would ask like 3 to 5 people and tell them, hey, we are building something, and then could you try it out, and give it to them, and they try it out, and they're like, hey, okay, it's nice, but I wish it had this. And we could collect all those requests and package it in a way that you could present a product with building, with something that people really are asking for. And that is the most important thing you can do if you're building the product that is new. Because you don't want to build things that people don't want to use. You don't want to build things that people are not really willing, that people are not asking for. It will take you a lot of time, and it will take you a lot of resources. It's very easy. Like, you build a small product with a few features, put it out there for the people, ask them, hey, I have this, could you try it and check it out? And then they check it out and they give you feedback. And then you compile that feedback, and then you filter out what you can build, and then you build it, and then reach out back to them and tell them, hey, what you built is, what you talked about, is built it, can you check it out? And then you give it back to them. Even if you're doing it on 1, 2, 3 people, you understand that users are very similar. When you build it to 1, 2, 3 people, you essentially building it for 100 people, because when 3 people agree on something that is working the way they want, the moment these 100 people come in, it will be the same. Everything has been said. So I really recommend you talk to your users, see what they want, see what they're requesting for, then optimize. If you're building something that is already on market, just do what the other people are doing, and then you twist it in a way that gets out your business model out.
Thank you very much for that. It's really informative, and I'll definitely consider that. Anyone else for a question?
Anyone who has more questions?
Maybe it's appreciation.
Okay, people are scared, but yeah, seriously, we are really thankful for each and every one of us this time. I really thank everyone who has taken their time here. You want to take this for 1 hour, and it is exactly 21 hours. I would love to ask for your closing remarks, and then, yes, we can call it the start of
And
cohort one. Yes.
that of
You people should sort yourself, and maybe one person, one after another, you give us your closing remarks. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go first. My closing remarks are I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to this cohort. I think this is one of the first kind. Even in Web 2, I don't think we've had anything like this in Web 2, and I think it's history on the making. So yeah, I'm very excited. I know I'll be one of the trainers. I'll be one of I'll be one of the people that will have the program there. I'll prepare very well, and yeah, I'm looking forward to having guys. And hope we can have a good time. And I'm looking forward to the projects that you guys are going to push at the end of the cohort. Yeah.
All right, right. So, as Jovan has said, we are making history, writing history in real time, and I'm excited to see how the bootcamp goes, the course goes, the products, the experience at the end of it all, and yeah, it's exciting. I'm really excited.
Thank you very much for the invite. Like I've said to you, Kakoza, in private, this is actually a very great assignment you're doing. Like the first day we met and you spoke with me about this, I was actually very excited to see it. I trust that there's a lot of work to be done in Africa, and I'm sure that only one person cannot do it. And so it is you have the future of so many people in your hands now, and I trust that you do the best out of it. And to everyone, the developers and all, it's not going to be an easy path. So I am saying that it requires a lot of doggedness, a lot of effort and energy, and you're not doing it because of yourself alone, honestly, because all of us Africans are tied together in a way. You are also going to be there to support the next guys that are coming after, that are coming after, that are coming after till the last person is saved, right? And the fun part is that our population in Africa is much, so we might not actually save the last person even till we're dead and what our children. But then let's keep the fire burning. I look forward to seeing the results from this bootcamp. I personally will try and see if I can make it to Uganda before the end of the course. I've said I want to come. I'm sure I'm going to come before the end, maybe March, April, hopefully. I like to see what's happening there. Let's keep the energy growing. Let's keep the energy going. I'm sure there's a lot of support. If you require any support while learning, please tweet, tag us, tag everybody. The goal is for us to keep supporting ourselves and get the best together. Thank you very much.
Oh, I can't thank everyone so much. I thank you guys for really spending your time. Thank you, Mr. Ayo. Thank you, Sam. This time Sam told me not to call him Sam the tutor. So thank you, Mr. Sam. Thank you, Mr. Jovan. I really appreciate each and every one of us. Yeah, I'm really excited to see you guys in the cohorts. And yeah, I'm excited to see you push these people, because I know I'm going to take it for 2 weeks and one of you is coming on. Yeah, but really thank you so much. All right, have a great night. Bye.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice one.
Tuchariwo.
Behind the scenes.
Tuchariwo. Tugenda. Hello, how's everyone doing?